Alright, hey guys. So, this is the Apocalypse God, and today I'm going to be doing a demonstration of this song that I made in Podium. This is the first song I made just as a test to see how I can use it. And here we go. Here are all the MIDI tracks here. It's pretty much all MIDI instruments, and I guess I'll stop talking. So, let's go. That's about it. So, as you can see here, it's a pretty simple song. It's pretty minimal, not much going on. And it's really just a test of how I can use this and how I can incorporate my skills that I have already in FL Studio into here. So, we have our basic synth right here. This is basically the synth that I always use. It's called the Firebird. Here's what the pad sounds like. And yeah, so what I did for each of the master tracks, because there's a synth master, there's a bass master, and then there's the drums and the drum hit sub master. And what these are all routed to the reverb send. And what they do is they basically just add a little bit of reverb to glue the mix together. And I did a little bit of EQing on each track as a part of mixing. And yeah, it's basically the mixing choices. For the kicks, I did a little bit more advanced stuff. I just added more exciters and compression to the mix. And yeah, there's no actual mastering compression on this. It's just mixing. And that's basically it. This is the unmastered track, meaning there's just no master compression. So I guess I can now show you the individual tracks and the individual master tracks, I guess. So let's get into that. So of course it starts out with just a synth pad. Here's what this sounds like. And then it goes into the lead synth. The synth comes in with a automation level. This is what this sounds like soloed. And then that goes into the, I guess, the first, I don't know what you would call it, the main gist of the song. and it comes in with a, I guess you could call it a riser. I don't know, it's just a rising noise with a lot of reverb on it. That's what that sounds like. And then we have the bass, which is just a sub sine wave, and a distorted sub right here, which is kind of, I don't know, I just use it just to add a little bit more color to it. So that's that. And then we have the drums. So what I did was I made a sub mix under the full drum master mix, and this is basically for the hits part of the drums, the more transient pieces like the kicks and the snare and claps. So this is what this sounds like by itself. So for the kick, I added a little bit of color with. First, I used an equalizer. All I did was boost a little bit in the higher bass, and did a cut at about 65 hertz. And then I added this exciter. I basically boosted the lows all the way, the mids a little bit. I have the highs off, and then I turned down the drive, and whatever the mojo is. I think it just adds a little bit more distortion to the sound. And yeah, that's it for the first two. And then we have a multiband EQ. I basically compressed the heck out of the low bass and the mids, which I set to be a lot lower. And this, I compressed it a little bit too, just to tame it a little bit so it's not so freaking peaky. And then I got these snares. All I did was add an EQ and then did a multiband EQ. And let's see how I did it. I don't even remember how I did it. I basically compressed a little bit on the lows just to tame those a bit. And I had to compress the heck out of the highs just so they weren't peaking so much. And in the claps, all I did was add an EQ to it and boosted some of the slightly lower highs on the snare. I did more of the higher highs, higher treble. And yeah, that's it for that. And then for the drum hit master, I added an exciter, this one called Sumo. Basically just adds a little bit of distortion and boosts the bass a little bit. And I added this. This is basically a sidechain compressor. This is basically the send part of it is. This is the return part. And I just have that set in. Acts as a sidechain compression that I use for the end of the song, which I'll show you in a little bit. And then I added a limmer just to make sure that no peaking over 0 dB. And then for the overall mix, I just added a little bit of a compression. And yeah, that's about it. I didn't really EQ these too much. For the hi-hats, I did a little bit of boost on the highs. And yeah, that's it. I got a final reverb send just to glue everything together, as I've already said. And also use it for the final effect at the end of the track, which I will show about right now. Which right here, when the master, I have the pre-master level go off, but that doesn't affect the what the send is going to. So let's show that real quick. I've already showed it, but I'll do it again. Show what it sounds like. That's basically what it sounds like. And I also have the sidechain compressor kicking in right here, with the automation right here too in this green part where the threshold goes all the way down. But other than that, it's off the entire song. And yeah, it's about. Oh, I forgot to show the final lead synth right here. Here we go. So it's just a sliding synth. Sounds a little saxy, I guess. And here's what this sounds like by itself. and then it goes into the reverb part, so you can barely hear it there. I don't even think you can hear it at all. Oh yeah, because the synth's not on. But yeah, that's what it sounds like with just the send reverb. And yeah, that's about it. That's how I mixed this song. And it's fairly simple, I guess. Pretty cool. And yeah, that's about it. Probably plan to do more videos on this digital audio workstation. Check it out if you want. It's a little... it's not that hard to get around, but, you know, I figured it out in a couple days. So, yeah. I'll see you guys on the next time. This is the Apocalypticon. Heck yeah.